Okay, there's a ping there. We're gonna dot. All right, so he's saying we're in this together. He's observing kind of the reality we live in. It's a strange alternate reality, but he's an expert. He writes
I can see
fiction.
You now. Okay, hi.
He should be
Welcome to our
writing
live show.
science.
Sorry that
He's like the smarter of the two brothers. It's true though. And just really talented, great educator student. I used to bring feedback, content that was missing from his videos to him, but I really enjoyed all his videos. And unfortunately, it's very difficult for anyone to, on a first draft or first submission to the editor, have a complete work that doesn't need any editing. That's the reason we ask people to read what we write. It's because sometimes they're able to provide feedback, though. Growing up, when it's like one page and stuff like that, none of your peers ever have any feedback. Then you get into education. It's like, well, there's a bit of history because you didn't live it. You read about it. That was in a different book that you missed. Anyways, so this is just a comment about coronavirus. I wanted to read this for the camera. I've clicked the highlighter button and the laptop is going very slow. There it goes. Oh, I canceled it. No. Okay, so here we go. So here's my thing. Sometimes I grow a beard. It's really nice in winter. We're in this together. I'm moving the mouse and it's not following. It's strange and artificial that there are no replies, that there are not any replies. We are probably EEG drones producing recordings, testing boundaries that are then later used to impose this new concept of social distancing. Corona glands virus, because that's what it is. It's the corona glands, except down there. Influenza is a coronavirus. It's like, really, tell me something interesting. So all of them are under an umbrella term called corona. Umbrella, corona, ha 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 ha. See the joke? So they're attacking and insulting everybody's penis, and there's disproportionate killing. Even while there's just in the science community, say, well, it's an umbrella term. I'm like, then just use the word umbrella. Why say corona? You're just finding a creative way to say umbrella. Say, you could call it umbrella virus. I mean, what do you call it when there isn't actually a cause? What they're testing for is an antigen. They're testing for an immunity to a virus. And these people who are immune to something are being killed off. And, health departments, all your medical records in the cloud, all of that. It's our military that has access to all those databases. And they're doing something to purge all the people who aren't obese. And you see some obese people getting killed. But that's really what I see, though. I mean, the obesity is on a constant ascension, 5% a decade since 1976. So it's 86, 96, 2006, 2016. That's 20% increase in obesity, 5% each decade. And the number should be like more, but that's what I just counted off. 80, 90, 06, 16. So yeah, we're actually at 40% obesity. So I guess we're at near 20 when it started. Someone set fire to all the Army records because the SATs and the College Board were a sit-at-home strategy to send the fat people off to die in the military. But when the government gave the military its own intelligence agencies, military intelligence, OSS for the CIA, all the fat people got together with the CIA and formed their own paramilitary to hunt and kill all the smart people. And the thing is, they weren't doing it because they had been victimized. Defense intel is to have a defense in advance of a battle. And so they strategically knock out any strong resistance points. Anybody who would interfere with guns and beer barfing, or Gatling guns and beer barfing being the master race. And that really is the truth. I mean, you just look at Brett Kavanaugh and his beer barfing growing up history, rape and everything else. And why would they make him Supreme Court? Not because they're sympathetic to him, But because in order to destroy all the pretty people, they would need somebody in Supreme Court to be like, oh, that happens. People get drunk and they try and rape each other. But they're great judges of like judging. Like he's not even a patent judge. He's not an environmental judge. I don't know what kind of law it is that Brett Kavanaugh specialized in. The IBM guy, John Kelly, like the guy who was the greatest assistant Trump ever had. Another John Kelly, but this one at IBM in charge of Watson and cognitive intelligence. His name is John E. Kelly III. And so it's like E3 is his middle initial, and the number on the back of his name is like E3. I mean, that must be a like ego booster warp. So anyways, I'm trying to do something about Corona. I was making a transition to explaining that something is like this. Right now, what I'm thinking about is the Korea coronavirus response. Let's look up Korea penis size. Globe and maps. Oops. But I'm like Mao Zedong and all that. Oh, I was talking about the army, and because the CIA formed and joined the military, that the military and those who are being killed off by the SATs form their own paramilitary to kill everybody who's pretty or in any way not part of the obesity problem. So it's like now obesity is beautiful, but marrying into them won't save you. They've poisoned the CDC with diploid cells, and they're making albino turkey, albino chicken, albino salmon. Yeah, really. Aquatid Advantage. It's a salmon that gets fat like nearly instantly. Instead of taking like 10 months, it's like 4 months and it's a full grown adult. So your little daughters eat it. And like when they're like 8 years old, they look like they're 16 or something. I should make that a cleaner joke. So if legal age is 20, we're going to say when they're 10, they look like they're 20. That just makes it funny because you've got laws and you've got police 10 codes, 1020. Actually, I should look up what the 1020 code is. What is the 1020? Because that's a number you'll never escape. 1020 is all over the place. So 1020 police code. And this is kind of how I know so much. I just kind of look up things. Do you know the 1020 of that smoking? It's like, what the fuck is that? That's like a location, I'm guessing. 1020 probably knows. It's probably location. What is the 1020 location? Anyways, yeesh. Screen jumping around. 1020, do you know the 1020? It's a noun. Slang. It doesn't even. I hate Wiktionary so fucking much. If you ever correct these definitions, somebody like rejects being corrected. It's like it doesn't cite any source or anything. It just has some sort of social slur. And what the heck is a smoky, anyways? Is that someone they're trying to Holocaust? Does anyone want the police holocausting people? That doesn't sound good. Denotes identification of location. So one's location. And 1020 is not a way to come up with location. It's kind of hysterical. Cutting someone half in order for your kids to be 20. That's a horrible society thing. And that's like this coronavirus joke. You really don't want location. Do you know where you are? You are surrounded by the enemy. You shall die and have only one child. As the enemy with our brilliant guns and alcohol hunt you down and get rid of you for not being guns and alcohol. That's like what all of it reads. I mean, really, I'm looking at the screen. One's location. I have a kid. I have 2 kids. It's the Aaron of the Bible. You know, all the good people in the Bible have to be murdered. 1 Corinthians 3 is all about that. By the way, if you see this video, write a letter to your Pope or your father or your vicar. They've got this word. It's like vicar means stabber. I'm like the parochial vicar of your Catholic church, the parochial vicar. We have a parochial stabber who stabs and kills people? That's not good. We shouldn't have assassins in the church. That's weird. And so the joke is that so that the obesity can continue its 5% ascension, constant since 1976 when the patent office cut off searching to find out what the fuck was going on. Because Feynman and Sid Roth and other people who were famous started hearing stuff in their ears. And it's not something that's chemical or biological. It's kind of hysterical. They suggest that. It's like, yes, snap, crackle, and pop. I was eating some of those nerds, and I suddenly started hearing nerds talking to me. No, that's not biological. That's technology. It would have to be technology. Coherent words. Hearing his dead wife's voice, hearing his professor who's alive, hearing the living voice of his professor in his ears when like nobody's around. It's like looking around here, and Sid Roth doing the televangelist thing on the 700 Club. Everybody else started mocking him by putting in like earbuds and small walkie-talkies and Secret Service wires to their ears and stuff. But here's Sid Roth, thin, good-looking, Jimmy Carter-looking guy. He's like, why is there something in my ear? Okay, Mr. Ear Voice. I don't need to know their secrets. No, you should know. He cheats on his wife by looking at women. I'm like, he looks at women. So it's like, and this is, it's a horrible thing. It's rotting the earth. I'm like, who the hell is in charge of this magical power that is like God power? I mean, it really is. The free and accepted Masons call it the power of God, but they're not even in charge of it. It's the military that runs them. It's like they created the military, and then the military cannibalized the free and accepted Masons to make war on the nation. So it's like the most absurd thing ever. Because it's like an evil organization formed a more evil organization that makes its money hunting and killing people around the globe. And they just try and keep information down to a minimum so people don't know why they're hunting and killing anybody who isn't obese. But Muhammad Ali is the smartest person in the United States, and he said it himself. I can't get fairness and merit-based society and credit for my physical prowess in the United States. Why am I going to go with a gun and alcohol and free bunk beds for a sleepover party to another country where tons of people say prostitution is acceptable? It's not. Women can get married for a month, can get short-term marriages for money, all that, but prostitution is not acceptable. It's not sex for money or money for sex. It's contract. And it's not a social contract. Like let's have coffee. Look at me, put some cash in here, and I'm going to have my Starbucks, and that means you get some woo-hoo-hoo. And I'm like, that's nonsense. No. Why would you want to destroy the most beautiful and desirable women that way? That doesn't make any sense. And it's like, would you want to do that with the ugly, fat women? Probably not. So what kind of society is like, oh, well, I was having some beer that day, and it seemed like a great idea. Beer and alcohol. Woohoo! Guns and Gatling. Woo-woo! And I'm like, sorry, I'm trying to imitate Ernest, and Ernest is a little bit thinner than me. He was somebody on TV. Y'all were fans of PeeWee Herman. That terrifies me. Okay, I was cool with the Ernest guy. I was like, this Ernest person, whoever he is, I'm like, Ernest is a good word. I love the word Ernest. But then, like, in the same spectrum, you have PeeWee Herman. It's like, are y'all mocking or attacking Ernest for being a hillbilly? That doesn't make any sense. That's wrong. And the hillbilly goes to the city and he's a PeeWee Herman or something. Like, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. It's a strange thing because PeeWee Herman technically lived out in the rural suburbs and like a country area. My sisters liked it. Scared the hell out of me. I'm like, no, whatever that is, no. Like, I'm going outside to play. I know that mom had us all agree that you could each have 30 minutes each, and I've got sisters, and they would each pick, and I would get to pick like one show. And so like 2 hours, 4 hours of TV, I might get 2 30-minute shows. Everything else is them. So it's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's probably a daily show. I don't remember what was on the weekend, but Ernest wasn't bad. Ernest was not bad. It's like Scary Stupid or something. Anyway, so 10-20. That's awful. It's like 20 teeth or is top and bottom, 10 top, 10 bottom, and gagging and destroying children so that whoever the dominant species is of the location can take over. These codes are not good. They should not have been 10 codes. It's like, is 10 even a good word? 10? 10? You got 6, 7, 8. I mean, you could say 4 codes. 4 codes are cool. It's like 4. I'm dialing a number 4. It's like, but there's the word 4, which means 2 or something. So 4 and 2 are taken because those are normal words. 6 sounds like sex. It's like, oh no. 5, we could have 5 codes. That's cool. I like 5. High 5. Give me a 5. And the beginning of the whole signaling thing was like waving flags and making hand signs at the sky and stuff. And that was the actual naval code, was a 5 system. So you should be 5 codes. I'm making a presidential decree that we're ending 10 codes and we're switching to 5 codes. Because 5 codes is like, I'm giving you hand signs or something. I'm giving you signs. It is a sign. And it's funny because all of it could be like the height of people. And then the joke about 520 is, well, you mean African man. Because anybody who's over 6 foot, which would be 5'10", 5'12", I was trying to say. 5'12" would be 6 foot. So 8 inches more than 6 foot, 6'8". That's an African. There aren't any white people over 6 foot. I don't mean to be offensive to anybody, because there's this ongoing history where Europeans are killing everybody on Earth, going, but we're the tall race. So all the short people need to die. Like, y'all apparently don't remember that starting in the 1100s, y'all started invading Africa and killing and taking hostages, and then you all had sex with them as sex slaves. You did it again in the 1600s of tulip mania in the United States, bringing home all the women. That's where all the light eyes from Sweden and Finland and Germany, Poland, Estonia, Lithuania, Russia, micro Russia. I have to remember that, micro Russia. And all the Baltics, anyways. Baltics, suck my balls, girls, sweat drip off my balls. I'm like, they got this music in the United States. It's just the worst thing ever. I'm like, listen, it doesn't make any sense that you put this over on the Africans when all of you are buying this music. I'm like, what sort of celestial Richard Feynman, Sid Roth thing is entering people's heads and going, in that porn, which is almost always like light skinned people, when guys do this and the girls do that, that really excites me. A submissive woman. Would you sing a song for me? Because we're respectable office people, so we can't do that. It would interfere with our office life. But I want some of that music so I can play it at the office and get laid. These are the people that got better voices than the people who have these horrible fantasies, and yet because they have this DARPA technology going in people's ears, they're remote controlling them to do the evil that I don't know how to put it. It's like gangster rap is just to get Africans to kill themselves. And why would Africans sing about guns and drugs except to help Africans get gunned and drugged? It doesn't make any sense at all. So I'm going to check one thing real quick. The Korea penis size thing. Ha ha ha. My mouse pointer went out. I wanted to show this. This is funny. It's about coronavirus. World penis size has been invented, and it shows world penis size map has been invented. Okay, so there's supposedly a penis size map from a place called The Mirror, a very famous magazine in England, well respected as the leading academic professors of the English language. I don't want to say that. Okay, Cambridge is the enemy. Oxford, Leicester, and a few others are our friends. But east of Neuroglia, maybe I'll do that like that for you. But right now, when I'm looking at the map, it's over here. East of Neuroglia is East Anglia, same word. And that people mistake Anglia as England. But Anglia is actually the resonance in the brain, like what sounds good and what sounds bad. La, la, la. And so it's just kind of an ongoing thing. Like a gong or angling. You can hear the reel make that noise. So Congo, Ecuador, top 10 countries. All right, so what's the bottom 10? This is supposed to be a very fast laptop. This is a Google Pixel book. I'm not thrilled with it continuously loading. I don't know what the Amazon thing is about. I'm just going to click wait. So Amazon is apparently the host for The Mirror out of England. Oh shit, no. That's the reason they're in Pakistan. They're killing everybody that's got a big penis. No, it's true. You can see it right on the screen. Hong Kong, Bangladesh. They're trying to shorten all the penises in the world down to 3 inches or 4 inches or less. So there's South Korea, 4.3. And so the corona glands virus is somebody trying to kill us all back to 4 inches or less. They have control of the radar system. But the size of the penis isn't actually a beast factor. It's proof of intelligence. The gorillas and all the squatting animals that are in close contact with the ground, they have small penises. The creatures that walk upright and have been wearing the clothes for the longest, they have long penises. So it's just kind of really annoying to have to deal with science people who have small penises because they're nah. I'm like, y'all think Big Bang's a real thing? Y'all think Big Crunch is a real thing? Y'all think Planck Constant's a real thing? I'm like, that's like murder your neighbor and we can constantly expand. Woo! Way out. We keep expanding because we're putting planks. Everybody's getting crucified. Come here, let me hammer you up here. Hammer you up. And there's crucified Planck Constant. Woo! Science! I'm like, this is the country I live in. That they're out in the world trying to kill anybody who has a big penis. And when they get like small penis countries, they use Thailand to make our like clothing and all sorts of stuff. And they get them South Korea makes a lot of our entertainment. And they use the psychic force to make South Korea like some of the best music videos on earth. But they've got this strange shit going on where they're going around like doing Rainbow Boys. So it's like they were cool in the beginning, but not the Rainbow Boys. I read manhua. Anyways, Hangul is the language of Korea. Beautiful language, horrible writing system. Okay, the phonetic is older than the writing system. It'd be good to find out what was Korea's original language and try and bring that back. Because the writing system is garbage. It's a bunch of doorknobs and like they tried to short penis everything, and it's just kind of horrible because they invaded them in like the 1500s from Europe after Marco Polo. And then they went to Vietnam to kill anybody who had a big penis in the Korean War. And so that's what USA was doing, was hunting down and killing anybody who had a big vagina or a big penis. And it's this culture in the United States. They're literally trying to achieve the Cambodia thing. In Cambodia, they got them down to cut down all their trees to give us paper to write on, to make plans to kill everybody who has a bigger than 4-inch penis. And this is coming from the United States, from the higher ups, through UGL, by the way. They've got the J1010 and J1111 STR. It's the sequence tandem repeats or something. So tandem might be this, might be like a bunch of these. A B start select, up down left right kind of thing. But you can see what's going on. The reason the United States and MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, opened up in Pakistan is they're trying to open up a world headquarters for small penis to kill all the Russians and anybody who's over 4 inches. So Pakistan at 4.4 is over the limit, but they were the smallest that this military intelligence group could form, who are crazy insecure because apes are giant and still have smaller penises than chimps without doing any scale adjusting. The short white guys, the Prince, the artists formerly known as Prince, they've got like 8-inch penises, 9-inch penises. And like in South America and Congo and other places, they got people with 18-inch penises. Now, what's important here is 18-inch vagina, 9-inch vagina, and the fact that all those things exist, and they're fantastic. Who wouldn't want to have easy childbirth? I mean, childbirth, you would want it to be easy. It's like, no, our economy, you got to have doctors. A small penis got to have work. So they were trying to get rid of the Cindy Crawfords, who are beautiful, beautiful women, and damaging them and stuff, and damaging their daughters because they want to have a doctor system that they don't need. Everything should be in reference books. Everybody should be like owning an encyclopedia of medicine. An encyclopedia of medicine that tells them, like, okay, so at this point, you boil some water. You You're going to need oil, though. This is more important than the boiled water. It's like, of course, you need water to clean up things. It doesn't have to be boiled, but that's the safer thing to do, though. Honestly, if the water sits out, it could hold bacteria or something or dust, and it would be more dangerous hot than it would be cold water. So it's an ongoing problem. You know, the science and the burners that they have to make everything a production. And in the past, it's like you have a baby, you wash up afterwards, and you're done. Cutting the umbilical cord, it's like I don't know anything about that. I would like to. Maybe I've seen some videos where some people have bitten through the umbilical cord. Um, it's strange. I think everybody just chews through it or something. It's like grizzle. And I don't mind that. That's not a problem. And I'm sorry, there are too many cartoons in the United States. So I'm having like flashes of people making jokes about things like that. But you can see it on the screen. Hong Kong, United States, and England struggled to make Hong Kong its own municipality. They did all they could to have them focus on books, to become the highest scoring intelligence on Earth, and because they have small penises. And yet the goal is to get rid of everybody who's thin and replace them with obese people. The English and ugly power of East Anglia, Cambridge, and places east of Cambridge, East England, their goal is to have only obese people on this earth. It really is the underlying plan. I know they unify on our small penis means we know how to talk to you, and we are romantic people, and you love us because we have mastered how to talk. I'm like, I don't really care what you tell yourselves because you don't keep your definitions. You're not interested in etymology. You are much more into making sounds than you are into knowing what the damn sounds mean. It's like a piano and stuff. I don't know what any of these sounds mean, but if I hit them like this, people get feelings. And I'm like, that is not what a language is. A language is supposed to eventually become genetic memory. It's like your chicken calls, your penguin calls, your fox calls, your dolphin calls. All of those are supposed to be so old that they're genetically stuck in your damn ears, and the definition never changes. There's no such thing as a living language. There are people alive, but the language doesn't change. Okay? The language does not change. The definition is the definition. And someone's just having war where it's like, oh, well, those are the happy, cheerful people. So go fuck them in the ass. That's where the word gay comes from. Is gay meant cheerful. And somebody's like, no. Tell the children to go fuck them in the ass. So they tell the children, no, that's gay. Those are people that, if you're ever curious about exploring anal sex, do it to them. And it's like, it's just the most absurd thing ever that the United States has any foreign allies, because English is the worst language on earth. Pictographic languages are way better. Arabic is a phonetic language. The dashes and signs are supposed to be the syllables in the mouth and stuff like that, but somebody's messed with the dots and the symbology to make it seem like vagina and penis and basketball, and it's just the weirdest thing ever to look at Arabic names after somebody's changed the damn writing system. It's just like, what happened to Nile being like a Nile River and being like the Sound Nile? Now it looks kind of like sexy. It's not the word Nile, but like Mahmoud and stuff like that. So no wonder everybody's named Mahmoud. They're all getting like excited for reading how it's spelled. It's like, these are all pictograms. Why is that pictured that way? It's supposed to be sounds. Anyways, so like early Mandarin was better. They were going with simplified Mandarin because they want the stupid people with the small penises. Isn't this great that the secret of the small penis is to make everybody stupid? It's like stupid power. It's like the people with the bigger penis are in fact smarter, but if you're not restricted by a dictionary or reference books, then everybody just wastes their time arguing about things. But this is really, you can see North Korea and South Korea. North Korea is somehow smaller, which is terrifying. That must be why all the nation was struggling to force them to do agriculture, was to contradict that the farmers have giant penis. And this is a propaganda location with North Korea. Someone's trying to achieve that Cambridge. They all came by a bridge. The first farming master race is North Korea. Then everybody else gets killed because they got bigger penis. And it's just hysterical that there's apparently a fraternity of people who are obese. And obesity does help shrink the penis. So they might even be 5-inch penis people and suicidal. They just don't know that they're 5-inch people, 5-inch penis, because they're so fat that they can only see 3 inches of it. But that's a true story, though. That's a true story. That's one of those things about biology that's absolutely true. And military's got fat and obese family, and so you like everybody in the military, all the driver's licenses need to be PQCT, X-rays, CTs, computer tomography on the driver's licenses of all the family. All the census needs to be tracked. Right now, the medical laws say that you only keep records for 5 to 7 years. Then you can get rid of whatever medical evidence exists of someone not being obese. And it's just really, it needs to be 70 years. In the digital age, where a terabyte is like $15 and a Word file or a Windows file is maybe a few kilobits. I mean, seriously, it's like 100 kilobits, maybe less than 100 kilobits in XML or CSV file system. And that is the truth. Twitter, CSV, best file system on earth. Maybe I'm being punished on Twitter for letting them switch to a JavaScript because they need more analytical powers. Well, there's no reason they can't create a application that will strip the content and export it as CSV. But it's just weird. That's what I said. I can still have CSV, everything like that, even if you got analytics and other things going on. And I should point out that I liked it better, the file sorting, the references, the suggestions, when it was a CSV system than when it became whatever the Java action script is. I'll have to make a separate video for Jack and Twitter and Square, Twitter, Jack, and Foursquare. So it's like there's Square Payment, and there's Foursquare. Anyways. All right, I'm going to stop this video. You can see it on your screen. I was trying to highlight it, and I just kept pointing at it with my finger. Trying to highlight. Screen won't even let me highlight. I'm going to try and use the pencil. Give me the pencil. This is Amazon in England. You know Jeff Bezos, probably like something like that or something. He's actually black hair, though. He didn't know he's being used. He's got beautiful women, though. His wives, both of them, are amazing women. It's top quality. But Jeff Barr, his programmer, an evangelical software engineer. You know what? That's free accepted Masons. That's obese people only. I think Jeff Barr got mixed up with the wrong people. I am trying to highlight this damn screen. I'm now drawing with the pencil and I don't see it on the screen yet. Okay, maybe y'all can see something I'm not seeing, but I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording because all of it's true. And I have to try and break these things up into shorter videos that are easier to digest.